Number 4, what would you do, what resources or what would you provide for a student who has psychological or safety needs? So without knowing like the situation, it's kind of hard to hold on, buddy. It's kind of hard to answer that. Just depending on like what need the student needs. Like if the student is trying to hurt themselves, definitely reaching out to CPS, the counselor. I know at my school we had a counselor, and they're trained to help students who are going through some of these issues. If someone was hurting them at home, or a family or relative or sitter or something, definitely helping to get that student to get out of that environment by reaching the resources that we have, via being a licensed. I think we're licensed. I forgot what it's called, but we are required to call the police. We're required to call Child Protective Services, and so to ensure safety for that student, you definitely communicate with the principal, the counselor, your staff, and then kind of how it depends on how well the families and parent, communicating with them. If this is a occurrence, if this keeps happening, whatever the case is. So it's definitely important to communicate with your admin, and just your team itself to get to meet the needs of the students, because the last thing we want is students to hurt themselves or be hurt. And so just being available to listen to students. I know sometimes it gets really busy and chaotic, but understanding and building relationships with students, and when you kind of notice like, hey, that student's been quiet lately, or hey, that student's been really acting out, I wonder what's going on. So just providing time and space for students to have a talk with you, or be able to write you a letter. That's kind of something we did this year. Was we had a mailbox, and if something happened at recess that emotionally or physically, or anything that happened, and they needed the teacher to know, instead of 20 million kids asking 100 questions when we came in from recess, we had them write a letter, and I would review it, as we did our quiet moments, and so I could, tend to those needs.